विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने इति नामिने। नमस्ते विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले
हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे
स्वामिने नामिने। हरे कृष्णा। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So it's my great pleasure to welcome all devotees for today's discussion. Continuing on the 18th chapter, we are going to take up only 5 shlokas today from 56 to 60. In the last session, we saw how Krishna can be known only through bhakti. So the same tenor continues in the coming shlokas. Krishna will again and again emphasize taking shelter of Krishna, the person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the main message of Bhagavad Gita is being driven in very strongly from here onwards. That's why I thought we will slightly slow down so that we will allow the main message to sink in. Because people who read Bhagavad Gita somewhat casually and without proper guidance, they come to the completely wrong conclusions. And it is very natural. Even the scriptures say that it will happen. If you don't have proper guidance, if you don't learn under the parampara, and you don't have the right attitude, the sincerity, then you will come up with the totally opposite concept of impersonal God. So that is why we are slowing down here. The main message of Bhagavad Gita is now being given in summary form, in essence form, so that we can digest it much more easily now. We have come through all the 18, 17 chapters. So now we are ready to digest the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So that way, as we begin today's session, let us chant our Mangalacharanam prayers. Once again invoking the mercy of the Parampara and Lord Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we should be able to understand the essential message of Bhagavad Gita and start practicing it in our life so that we can experience the true bliss of Krishna consciousness, the true bliss of the realization of the message that Krishna is trying to give. So painstakingly Krishna has given this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Using his pure devotee Arjuna as an instrument. Arjuna doesn't need Bhagavad Gita. He's a pure devotee. He has come from spiritual world along with Krishna. Every time Krishna appears, Arjuna comes along with him in different incarnations. So he doesn't really need this, but he becomes the instrument. Only a pure devotee can be an instrument for the mercy of Krishna to descend. So we also connect to the Guru so that the pure mercy can pass on to us also. So let us chant the Mangalacharanam prayers. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्रीराधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभ्यां श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं। हरि ओं तत्सत्। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। Hare Krishna. So once again, I have great pleasure to welcome all of you for this session, continuing 18th chapter, coming to the culmination, going towards 1865 and 66, the most amazing revelations that Krishna gives. We are moving towards that. So we are little slowing down so that the message can sink in deeply. I don't have much time, so the quiz has to go fast. I have my answers. The quizmaster's answer is final. You can have many other answers which will also be quite good. So, without hesitation, please start answering the questions. What is the central theme of Bhagavad Gita? You can unmute yourself and you can give the answer. What is the central theme of Bhagavad Gita? No problem if my answer is not accepted.
Hare Krishna Guru.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, to know about Krishna.
To know about Krishna. Very good, excellent. Yes.
I am not body, I am soul.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am not the body, I am the soul.
I am not the body. Yes, very good. Then
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. Whatever you do, think of me and surrender everything to me. Hare Krishna.
you see beautifully how
Hare
the
Krishna Prabhuji, to know that we are the servants of Krishna.
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Sarvapadmam paritejya mamekam saranam braja.
Beautiful.
Eternal
Yes.
servants.
Eternal servants of Krishna. Yes. Yes.
To submit the results to Krishna's feet.
Yes. Yes. To perform our duty and surrender to Krishna the results. Yes.
This Manava Janma is given.
Yes.
So best utilize and go to Goloka.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Yes. So great. I agree with all the answers. So my answer, what I have kept is simply Krishna. Central theme of Bhagavad Gita is simply Krishna. And you can imagine people have so many commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, and most of these commentaries they don't even talk about Krishna. They take the philosophy from Bhagavad Gita, but they ignore Krishna and Arjun completely. The conversation is taking place between God and a pure devotee of God. And the central theme is Krishna is revealing himself to the mankind through his pure devotee. So the central theme is Krishna. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapatyeti vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. So the central theme is Krishna. I accept all the answers, whatever you give, but we have to remember, because this is not my focus, this is the focus Krishna is giving. As we are concluding, we have finished 17 chapters. By now, this message should be deeply within our heart. As we proceeded from second, third, fourth, 5, 6, then increasingly we should be coming to this conclusion that the focus is only Krishna, not some impersonal subject matter of becoming liberated, becoming free from birth and death, becoming soul conscious, all these things. Yes, they are all part of the ladder. But why? The whole play is, it's centered on Krishna. Because at the top of everything, Krishna declares, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha. I am the greatest. So you can see for this answer to this question, 10th chapter, from shloka number 8 to 11, it's called Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Please open Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is and read all these purports from shloka number 8 to 11 of chapter number 10. That is actually the central theme of Bhagavad Gita. So it's about Bhagavan, Bhakta, and the process of Bhakti. The whole Bhagavad Gita is that. Bhagavan Krishna, pure devotee, Bhakta, and the process called Bhakti. All these three are eternal. It is not that some formless Brahman is eternal. It is beyond Brahman that we have this realization of a personal God with whom we want to have a pure relationship where you exchange love eternally with him. You have a form, he has a form. The forms are eternal. In this material world, forms are constantly changing, so we are very confused. The moment form is mentioned, we think it is going to change. There will be old age, there will be disease, and there is death. Because by repeated birth and death, this wrong consciousness has gone into our head. But actually, there is a world of forms beyond Brahman. On this side of Brahman, we have material world where there is forms. These forms are all temporary, transient. But beyond the world of real forms, here they are temporary forms. They are not real forms. The real forms are on the other side. They are eternally with you. So this is the message what we get. And what is the goal of human life according to Bhagavad Gita? Again, there could be many answers. Please feel free. Yes.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, actually, Bhagavad Gita encourages us to live life in purity, then discipline, honesty, kindness, and integrity in order to find our purpose, why we are living in this world, and to live it fully in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So
Krishna consciousness.
Yes,
To re-establish the lost relationship with Lord Krishna and Krishna Bhakti only.
Yes. So the goal is Bhakti, that's what I'm saying. Goal of human life. Yes. Then other answers?
To reach the supreme abode of Godhead Goloka and be in the constitutional position, Prabhuji.
Simple. Yes, perfectly. So all the discussion about this material world should not make us confused that, oh, there is so much I have to learn about this material world. No, this is all totally irrelevant because this is all completely temporary. We should not get caught up in this in terms of material pleasures and pains. We should not be planning for material emancipation. Oh, I want to become wealthy, I want to become influential, I want to become powerful, I should have a lot of followers, I should live a healthy, long life. All these are totally irrelevant. Yes. Devendra Mishra Prabhu has spoken already. Yes. Chai Devi Mataji, you want to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji. To remember Krishna always and do Bhakti Seva.
Yes. Yes. By doing this, and in fact, Mataji, what you said is a very beautiful answer because that's a goal actually. To constantly remember Krishna. You know what happens? We spoke about Narada Muni in an earlier class. He said Narada Muni was a 5-year-old boy, and because the Bhakti Vedantas had taught him, he was constantly remembering Krishna, and at some point of time, his material existence ended. Spontaneously, he got a spiritual form, but he was not even aware of that. Just like how lightning and thunder, they just happen. Like that, at one moment, his material body was gone, spiritual body was there. But he did not change anything. He was continuing to remember Krishna, continuing to chant the holy names of Krishna. So this is how a pure devotee's life, between material and spiritual life, they don't experience any difference. That is why Swarga, Apavarga, Narakeshu, Abhitulyata Darshinaha, Narayana Parasarya, one who is surrendered to Narayan, he doesn't see any distinction between heaven, hell, and a material life which is full of prosperity, etc. All these three things he doesn't see any distinction. So the goal of life is to go back home, back to Krishna, by constantly remembering him. Smartavyam Satatam Vishnu, Vismartavyam Najadachit. We want to remember him always and never to forget him. That is the goal. Sadhana Bhakti and Sadhya Bhakti, or we call Sadhya Bhakti, we call it as Prema Bhakti. We are now practicing Sadhana Bhakti. The Sadhana Bhakti itself will transform into Prema Bhakti, provided we are doing it under guidance. We are doing it under guidance of spiritual master, and we are sincerely practicing as he has taught us. If you are doing it, there is no difference between Sadhana Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. From here, you will automatically enter that. The only difference will be everything will become spontaneous at that point of time. So, really, there is no difference between Sadhana Bhakti and Sadhya Bhakti. Only difference is now you are doing it under guidance. You have been given so many rules and regulations. Once you are in Prema, you will automatically follow all these things. So, that way, goal is to go. Because the second question is connected to the first question. First question is, central theme is Krishna. So the goal is to attain Krishna. That way it becomes the perfect answer to that. The goal of human life is...
May I add one more point,
Yes.
Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, Janma Sarthaka Kari Pari Upakar.
Yes.
So, to progress in spiritual Krishna consciousness, as well as to spread the Lord's name and propagate Krishna consciousness among others. So more and more are benefiting.
Wonderful. Thank you. The most appropriate message. This is the Gita Marathon month which is going on. And Mataji is reminding all of us that we should all do our bit. Actually, there is going to come now. After Krishna speaks 65, 66, then Krishna will say that one who distributes this knowledge is most dear to me. No one is dearer to me than that person who distributes this message to everyone. So that way, very correctly, Mataji added, the goal of human life is to perfect our life and also to help others to perfect their life. Very, very nice answer. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. So who is the competent person to read Bhagavad Gita and who is not?
A non-envious person, Prabhuji, and he should be a bhakti.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Yes. Any other answers?
May I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
I feel any person can read the Bhagavad Gita, provided the purpose behind reading it is very humble and he wants to know the exact purpose behind the scripture that is written. So if a person reads it with speculation, with the idea of acquiring knowledge to be shown off to others, then he will be a big failure. He or she will be a big failure. But if we try to understand it with the humble nature and through the parampara, through the proper source and acharya parampara, then we will be submissive, and so we will get the fruits out of reading.
Very good. Thank you. Both the questions you answered. Any other answers?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
who trusts Krishna as God, Bhagavan,
Yes.
he should read Bhagavad Gita, not the others.
Correct. Correct. So the person should accept Krishna. He should accept the process of bhakti. Only such people should read Bhagavad Gita. Others are not competent. They will read, but they will come to wrong conclusions. They will arrive at an impersonal conclusion. They will see it as a very moral document. They will see it is full of ethics. They will even say, there are a lot of management lessons here. There are many life lessons here. There are so many things I can practice in my office and at home. People will start extracting all these things, but they will forget the main goal of life. They will forget Krishna. So that way, a competent person is one who has no envy. Because see, the moment you understand God as a person, immediately envy comes. In fact, it is explained why souls have come to this material world, because they are envious of Krishna. They are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they want to become independent, enjoyer, controller, proprietor. For that reason only, we have all come here. So, under the guidance of a bhakta, we should sincerely try to learn Bhagavad Gita as a document that will explain Krishna to you. So that is the competence. So if you see 9th chapter, shloka number 1 to 3, you can get a clear understanding of how idam tude guhyetamam pravakshyami anasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase ashubhat. So if you have non-envious nature. And if you are reading under proper guidance, then you will know the knowledge and you will also get realization. So that's why. And same, the third shloka, the Lord will say, Ashradadana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Murti Samsara Vartmani. Very clearly in the third shloka, he says, somebody who is not having faith and somebody who is not having the proper attitude, such a person, if you read Bhagavad Gita, he will not get to know Krishna. He says, he will not get me. Na prapya mam, he will not get me. Nivartante, he will come back. Mrityu samsara vartmani, to this world of birth and death, he will return to this world. So such people are not competent. So very clearly, one should, even if you don't love Krishna, at least we should not hate Krishna. We should not be envious of Krishna. We should not insist that ultimately God is formless. All those people who say God is formless, they are envious of Krishna. So that should not be there. That way, yes, everybody is competent as long as we come with a certain amount of sincerity and we are willing to give respect to the teacher, to the Guru, because only when the Guru is pleased, Krishna will reveal himself. So we should have that mood to learn from a Guru like that. So how to gain this competence? So if somebody wants to gain competence, what should that person do?
Do uninterrupted bhakti, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Uninterrupted bhakti should be done, Prabhu.
Yes, but how do you get that? How do you get that?
By the mercy of the Guru, Prabhuji, spiritual master.
Hare
Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I try?
Yeah.
Is it the satsanga which a person should have, and then with that satsanga he will have a guru, and then probably he gets to have that, and then he follows the regulative principle as per the instructions of a guru, and then he becomes competent.
Yeah. Very right. Yes. Any other answers?
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Yeah.
This is like Krishna's mercy only. How to gain competence? Krishna mercy.
There is one danger in saying it is Krishna's mercy. What is the danger? That means, I can do nothing. Only Krishna has to give me his mercy. What to do? I have met many people like that. They will say, oh, the Lord has not called me, so I have not started Bhagavad Gita. I know one day he will call me. That they do so many things in their life. They are aspiring for promotions, they are aspiring to accumulate money, they are playing in the stock market, they are traveling the whole world. But when you come to spiritual knowledge and Bhagavad Gita, they say, oh, God has not yet called me. So that way, yes, mercy. But before mercy, endeavor has to be there.
Krishna Bhakti. To gain Krishna Bhakti, you have to do Krishna Bhakti.
Yes. So that...
Prabhuji, chanting repeatedly the Maha Mantra.
Yes. But before that, what you need? So we see in the 4th chapter, 34th shloka. Tad vidhi. Tad means the absolute truth. There is Krishna. Tad means Krishna, the supreme truth. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena seviya. So one should go to the spiritual master who is a tattvadarshinaha, who has seen Krishna. To such a pure devotee one should go, and with humility you should serve him and submissively inquire from him. So that way you get the competence, because it is always a descending process. Avarohan, it has to descend. Krishna's mercy is coming from Goloka and it is descending through the Acharya Parampara. So you have to connect yourself to the Parampara from below. You have to receive it. It's not that by a trial and error process, ascending process, I will go on expanding my knowledge and one day I will know Krishna. It's not possible. By our mental speculation, we will never achieve. It has to descend. In order for it to descend to me, I should become humble. Only when you are humble, you become a vessel to receive that mercy. And that mercy has to be received through the Acharya Parampara. So, Tadvidhi Pranipatena, 434, if you see, Prabhupada gives very elaborate commentary on how much important a guru is in our life. There are other shlokas also. I am just picking up 1 or 2 samples for you. Can one understand Gita's essence by whimsically reading any shloka or chapter? Nowadays, you see a lot of people are coming in WhatsApp and they say, this is Gita. And they say, chapter 1 is this, chapter 2 is this, chapter 3 is this. They come as though each chapter is standalone. They come with different conclusions. So is it possible somebody has quoting a particular shloka in the 3rd chapter, somebody quoting particular shloka in 4th chapter and saying, this is Gita. Is it possible like that?
No, Prabhuji, not possible. It should come from the parampara.
From Guru Parampara. Sorry, Mataji.
Yes, it comes in Guru Parampara. Apart from that, can you say anything more about Gita arranged in 18 chapters? Why should I not pick up something from somewhere?
Prabhuji, may I try?
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Gita's subject matter has been told quite sequentially and serially. So different philosophies, different paths are described. So somebody picks up somewhere and he understands that part only. So he may get misled. He will not have overall message. And from that, which path is the best, that choice he will not be able to understand. So it had to be done sequentially.
Yes. So because it's, as I always say, it's like a ladder, or you can say an elevator. You get into the elevator, but you get down in the first floor. There are so many floors beyond that, maybe 20 floors, 30 floors. You get down on the first floor and say, I have reached the top. That's not correct. So you see, that's a build-up. In the second chapter, Krishna is introducing Sankhya Yoga, the difference between Deha and Dehi. And then he comes to Karma Yoga, how to perform your duty properly, in what kind of mood, what kind of attitude. Then from Karma, you go to Jnana. When you perform your Karma duties properly, then you get to Jnana. Then from Jnana, then you go to Nishkamya Karma, which is actually offering the results to Krishna. Then you get introduction of Krishna from 7th chapter on. And in the 6th chapter, you get Dhyana Yoga, where you get Paramatma realization. Before that, in Jnana Yoga, you get Brahman realization. Then you go to 7th chapter, then Bhagavan realization starts. So it's a gradual build-up. So you have to go in that proper sequence. You cannot read 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter and come away saying that I have read Gita. Actually, there are people who conduct discourses on 1 chapter of Gita only, 2nd chapter of Gita, 3rd chapter of Gita, 4th chapter of Gita. Like that, and unfortunately, the people who go for such lectures, they are mesmerized by the classes. There's no doubt about it. Otherwise, why there will be such a huge crowd going there? But they don't get the essential message of Gita from those classes, because they separate Krishna from Gita. They separate Krishna and Arjuna, and they just pick up in a very impersonal way the message of Gita. So that way, whimsically reading is not okay. You have to essentially go through the parampara of devotees, and they will introduce Gita to you in a proper way. And then, like we have come now from chapter 1, now we are entering into the conclusive part of 18th chapter. Now we have a proper realization of everything. Otherwise, even first time, second time, if you read Bhagavad Gita, this message may not come across very clearly, even though Prabhupada has so mercifully given his purpose. From the first chapter itself, Prabhupada is giving the conclusive truth of Bhagavad Gita, right from first chapter. That is the mercy of Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada knows some people read only 1 chapter and they will go away. Some people may read only the introduction. So right from introduction, Prabhupada is giving this personal realization of the Supreme Absolute Truth. So that is very, very important. So these messages you should carry in your heart, so that when you talk to somebody, you are preaching Bhagavad Gita to somebody, you will keep this essence at your heart. Actually, today I was hearing one lecture where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was presented with 2 articles written in some newspapers about ISKCON. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the guru of Srila Prabhupada, he looked at both the articles. One article was very critical about the movement, Gaudiya Mission. Another article was very favorably written about the activities of Gaudiya Mission. But the Guru picked up both the articles and he just went through counting how many times the word Krishna or Hare appeared in that article. So in one article, it appeared maybe 20 times, 30 times. In another article, maybe 2 times, 3 times. So he said, this is the best article. This will do the best benefit for the people. Even though it's a critically written article, Krishna's name has been repeated so many times. So that is the kind of faith that Guru has. And when you connect to such a Guru, the same kind of faith will be passed on to you. Chanting of the holy name. Supreme Lord is a person, and the person and the name are non-different. Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Suddho, Nitya Mukto, Abhinnatvam, Nama Namino. Abhinnatvam, Nama Namino. Between the name and the possessor of that name, Abhinna, there is no distinction. It is the same. So we come to the conclusion that Supreme Lord is a person, and then we know that we can worship him by his holy names. We cannot see him now. We are not qualified. We don't have the eyes to see him. But we can worship him through the ears by chanting and hearing. So that is the understanding that we should carry deeply in our heart. Even though there is so much philosophy in Bhagavad Gita, we should have the essence with us. Yes, this question. Do worship of all devatas lead to the same destination?
No, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The one who does puja for the other devatas like Surya for the health and Lakshmi for this thing, money and all, they do pujas for Lakshmi. They go to view the Swarga Lokas, and after Punya is over, they will come back again.
Yes. Yes. So that we have to be very clear in our mind, because there are so many people say Ishta Devata. You worship the form in the form that you like most. You are attracted to a particular form, you worship. So they are giving more importance to our mind. Whatever form appeals to your mind, you are in that form. You will get the same result. There are many people who preach like that. In fact, that is why many people say, oh, Hinduism is all embracing religion. Very open-minded people. If you give a picture of Sai Baba, they will put him on the altar. If you give a picture of Jesus Christ, he will also go on the altar. If you give a picture of Kaaba, that will go also. Very liberal, very open-minded people. Any different methods of worship, they accept. Because Hindus are very open-minded. That's because Hindus are very confused. They have not been given proper understanding. If you worship a human being on an equal platform with God, then you will go to hell. We are not supposed to worship human beings or asuras on the same platform as God. Same way the devatas are also the departmental heads of the Lord. They are also in various gunas. So according to that, you will get the result. And as Mataji very correctly put, you will get a temporary destination. You will go to the place of the devata. Devan Janti Vrajan Devan Pitru Janti Pitru Praja. If you worship the Pitrus, you will go to the Pitruloka. If you worship Devatas, you will go to the land of the respective Devata. But this is all within the material world. Yantimatya Jinopimam. Krishna says, those who worship me, they come to me. So everybody goes to different destinations. Worshipper of Krishna goes to the eternal destination. So similar question. What about karma, jnana, ashtanga yoga, or various religions? Do they all lead to the same goal?
No, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Their destination are different.
Yes.
Only Bhakti Yoga leads us to Vaikuntha Golak, and
Yes.
other like Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, their destinations will be Brahman, that Brahman Jati,
Yes.
that is effulgence of Lord. It is
Yes.
so some Karma Yoga, some Punya, etc. They will take us to higher planets like
Yes.
Swarga.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
you.
Very right. So karma will take you maybe to Swargaloha, etc. And if you do Nishkamya karma, you are not attached to karma, but you are doing your duty. But then you go to Jnana. That is when you come to Jnana. And Jnana will take you to impersonal Brahman. So that's how it goes. But Ashtanga Yoga will take you to Paramatman realization. But when you do Bhakti, you get Bhagavan realization. Similarly, if you take other religions, depending on what they teach, only that much people will be able to climb. But when you do Bhakti to Krishna, you get the highest Krishna Prema. That is the highest result you get. It is not possible to get that result by any other method. Okay, now we will go today's shlokas. We have only 5 shlokas for today. I have slowed down deliberately because we should deeply contemplate what Krishna is trying to say. That's why. Let us read these 5 shlokas, 1856. Sarvakarmani api sada kurvano madhyapashrayah matprasadadavapnoti shashvatam padamavyayam. Look at this now. It's all so personal now. Intimately Krishna is sharing this knowledge because Krishna has spoken almost whatever he has to say. He's not summarizing. So he wants to make sure that there is no confusion in the mind of the reader or hearer. The correct message should be taken. So here everything is becoming personal. So here the word Mad Vyapashrayaha. Mad Vyapashrayaha means under my protection. The word he is using, Mad Vyapashrayaha. Then Mat Prasadat, by my mercy. So See this, it is becoming intimate now. Bhagavad Gita is becoming very intimate. Earlier, so much of philosophy, very impersonal way we were seeing. But there also, every here and there, Krishna will put one shloka like that, which will connect him in a personal way. But if you have missed everything, now here Krishna is giving it very strongly. He is not allowing you to deviate here and there. He is saying, my surrendered devotee is always under my protection. So even though he may appear to be engaged in all kinds of activities, ultimately he will reach my abode. He will reach my abode. Shashvatam padam avyayam. The imperishable, that is avyayam. Shashvatam, eternal. He comes to that place. So he's saying, my devotee is always under my protection. Even though he may be doing various activities. How is it possible? Because a pure devotee constantly remembers Krishna. And every activity he does, it is always dovetailed with the interest of Krishna, not personal interest. See, for example, Jesus Christ. He was going to be crucified, but he's praying to the Lord, saying, Lord, I am sure that if you want me to be crucified, that is for a good purpose. So I will accept it. Let thy will be done. So like that. Haridas Thakur, he was whipped in 22 marketplaces. 22 marketplaces constantly by 2 stalwart executioners. Their aim was to kill him. They thought by the 2nd or 3rd marketplace he would die. But that was the kind of suffering that he was subjected to. And he was, why? Because he was constantly chanting the holy name and he was preaching. But he never forgot Krishna. Even in that most difficult time of his being beaten up, he never forgot Krishna. So there is no question of him getting a different destination. Whatever situation we may be in, whatever experiences we may be undergoing, good or bad, if we constantly remember Krishna, the protection is there with us. Yoga Kshemam Vahami Aham. If somebody is constantly remembering Krishna in all his activities, Krishna will protect him up to the point of returning to the land of Krishna, the Goloka. So this is 56. You will see again similar sentiment coming in next shloka. 57. Chetasa sarva karmani. Chetasa means intelligence. Chetas. Chetasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matparaha. Again you see, mayi means he is referring to himself. Matparaha means again he is referring to himself. Uddiyogam upashritya machitta satatam bhava machitta. Again, see, let me read the translation. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. Look at this. It is really, really becoming strong. Very tightly, Krishna is embracing Arjuna in these words because Arjuna is his personal friend. He is such an intimate friend. He loves Krishna so closely, and Krishna is giving him all the confidence that is needed by saying, whatever activity, Arjuna, you are going to kill your brothers, you are going to kill your uncles, you are going to kill your in-laws, you are going to kill your grandfather, you are going to kill your acharyas. So many people you are going to kill, but in all such activities, just depend upon me. Work always under my protection. That is what Matparaha. Earlier we saw Mad Vyapashraya, and here it is Matparaha. Both mean the same thing. Work under my protection. You will be always protected by me. And whatever work you do, it becomes my devotional service. And so, while you are doing the work, you have to remain fully conscious of me. So Prabhupada says one important point here. We cannot whimsically do something and then say, I offer this to Krishna. That's not like that. You are going to work for Krishna always, and while doing the work also, you have to constantly remember. You have to constantly remember Krishna. And Prabhupada asked one more question. For Arjuna, Krishna was there in front of him and he was always guiding him. What about me? Krishna is not there in front of me. What should I do? So Prabhupada is answering. If you are following the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then you are under the guidance of Krishna. So you have to follow the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. that you have to learn from an Acharya coming in the Parampara system of Vaishnavas. Then you are also under the same protection of Krishna, because that is why Krishna has given the instructions in Bhagavad Gita. That is instruction to you and me. It is not instruction to Arjuna. So that way, we should have the mood when we read Bhagavad Gita that Krishna is talking to us through Srila Prabhupada, his pure devotee. So we should accept it in that mood and we should start implementing in our life. Then, guaranteed. Prabhupada uses this word, guaranteed. See, I will read the sentence Prabhupada says. If one gets a bona fide spiritual master and acts according to his direction, then one's perfection of life in Krishna consciousness is guaranteed. Again and again I see here in these shlokas, Prabhupada is using this word guarantee. Prabhupada is personally giving his guarantee. In 56th shloka again I will see. Again guarantee. I will read the sentence. To a devotee who is thus engaged in Krishna consciousness, the Lord is very, very kind. In spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode or Krishna Loka. He is guaranteed entrance there, Prabhupada is saying. Guaranteed entrance there. There is no doubt about it, Prabhupada is adding further. So, things are really, what we can say, becoming condensed. You keep on boiling milk and boiling milk, but then, it becomes condensed, so sweet. We are at that point of Bhagavad Gita. After crossing 17 chapters and 18 chapter, 56 shlokas we have crossed. So it's all becoming condensed. So if you have the right mood, you can really taste the sweetness right now. By developing the mood, what is happening between Arjuna and Krishna? Arjuna is not fighting. Arjuna is really serving Krishna. That's all. Whatever Krishna wants him to do, he is doing happily. Because the Supreme Lord is directly commanding him and he is simply following his instructions. So that way, he is confident that I am simply serving Krishna. For example, Yudhishthira Maharaj never spoke a lie in his life. Never spoke a lie. So Krishna wants to prove to the world, not speaking lie is not the highest virtue. The highest virtue is simply accepting the instruction of Krishna. So Krishna forces him to tell a lie. Forces him. After a little hesitation, Yudhishthira Maharaj complies, realizing Supreme Lord, he is a supreme truth, Krishna, and he is telling me to tell this lie. I will tell without hesitation. So the highest ethic, the highest moral value is to simply follow the instructions of Krishna as passed on to us by spiritual master. Then our entry into spiritual world is guaranteed. So that is how we have to see this. So we have to be, while working, we should be conscious of Krishna. Like Mataji was telling in the earlier, one of the questions, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. I like this phrase very much. Yudhyacha, Krishna is not allowing you to run away from battle. You see, you are a Kshatriya, you must fight. So Yudhyacha. Acha means also, that means Mam Anusmara, my consciousness, my remembrance should be there. But Yudhyacha, also you have to fight. Remembering me, you have to also fight. So this is the instruction of Krishna. Again and again he gives. And Arjuna also keeps asking the same question. And Krishna gives the same answer. Cannot run away from duty. By doing duty, you become purified. Even if you are already purified, you still must do the duty to set a good example for others. So there is no point of time you escape from duty. Krishna says, I am doing my duty. What is your problem? I have nothing to achieve. I am nothing to achieve. I am purely transcendental. But still I am performing my duty to set an example for others. So you have to set. So that way, it's not that we want to run away from duty. And actually, when you are in Krishna consciousness, there is nothing pleasant or unpleasant in this world. We consider everything material as inauspicious. Everything material is dead, jada. Whereas Krishna consciousness is all spiritual. So in this material world, something appears auspicious or inauspicious. It is all our illusion. Going back to Godhead, that is the only auspicious thing. So that way, while we are doing our duty, we don't become attached. We are doing our duty, but our attachment is to Krishna. So that way, this shloka again, that strong emphasis is there. Now, let us go to 58. 58. Krishna is going to drill it in further. Now, let us read the sloka. Machitta sarva durgani matprasadata rishyasi. Krishna is giving amazing assurances. Assurances he is giving. Machitta sarva durgani matprasadata rishyasi. Atachetvam ahankaran nashroshyasi vinakshyasi. Krishna is telling, if you are fully conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditional life by my grace. See, we are living a conditioned life. Conditioned life means what? We are in a body, we are encaged in a body, and we are constantly thinking, I am the body. The pleasures and pains of the body, I think these are pleasures and pains of me, or failures and successes of the body that is affecting me, or we are thinking, I am the proprietor, enjoyer, controller on the basis of the body. So in that sense, conditioned life means we take everything upon us as the controller, as the enjoyer and the doer. That mistake we should not do. Instead, our consciousness should be of Krishna. What kind of consciousness? He is my master, I am his eternal servant. As a servant, I have to give pleasure to my master. My master maintains me. Either he maintains me or destroys me. I don't care. As a servant, I will always serve him for his pleasure. That is the message. Then Krishna says, by my grace, you will overcome all obstacles that appear in material conditioned life. But there is a warning here. Supposing you don't act like that, you don't accept my instruction, that means you are not working in Krishna consciousness, then what will happen? You will be directed by false ego. Automatically, so you see, the choices are very, very limited. Either you are Krishna conscious or Maya conscious. The false ego will take over. What is the true ego? True ego is that we are eternally servants of Krishna. Krishna's part and parcel, eternal servant. So 24/7, we should be engaged in the service of Krishna. But the moment we deviate from that, then false ego will take over. I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. Then you don't hear Krishna anymore. You are acting through false ego. Then what will happen? Vinakshyasi, you will be lost, you will be destroyed. So Krishna, when he is saying, be conscious of me, Krishna is not acting out of ego that I want everybody to come to me. That then only everybody will know that I am great. People misunderstand like that because in this world, we see ego everywhere. So we assume Krishna is also having ego. But no, Krishna is beyond ego. Ego is material. Ego is material. Krishna is beyond that. So Krishna has no ego at all. So it's not that Krishna is proud or Krishna is envious and Krishna is forcibly dragging us to him. No, Krishna is the supreme well-wisher of everyone. So he knows what is your real happiness. And he's inviting you to come and enjoy that. Everything that we want in this world, it is all given by Krishna only. Everything is simply Krishna's energies. Krishna is giving to us whatever we want out of his energy. But they will never make us permanently happy. But when we directly connect with Krishna in love, then only we can get complete happiness. So that is the message lovingly Krishna is giving. But people who are envious at heart, they cannot tolerate Krishna as a Supreme Lord. They will say, why? I am also Supreme Lord. They will say like that. Actually, in Krishna, if you read the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is one fellow called Paundraka. He is a king. And he is acting out like Krishna. He has attached two false hands and he is holding a false Shankha and Chakra. He is acting like Krishna. He is wearing Kaustubha, he is having Srivatsa, everything is imitating Krishna. Such an envious person. And then he sends a message to Krishna, hand over your conch and chakra that actually belongs to me. You are an imposter. Then Krishna says, all right, take my chakra. And the chakra goes, naturally he cannot take it, his head is cut. So that way, all of us have ego. Every one of us is like a Hiranyakashipu. Every one of us is like a Shishupal. We all have envy of Krishna. That is the reason why we are all here. But by understanding who is Krishna, who I am, what is my true relationship with him, then we should overcome this envious nature and develop love for Krishna. And it is possible only in the association of pure devotees. So here in the picture, we are seeing two pictures here. One is about Ambarish Maharaj, how he could conquer Durvasmani, even though he was not trying to conquer, but spontaneously, as a pure devotee, Krishna defeated Durvasmani for his sake, because he was constantly remembering Krishna. And here, Brahmadev, who is a demigod, who is directly the son of Krishna, but he forgot Krishna in false ego, thinking, oh, he is only an ordinary child, I will test him. And Krishna defeated him. So when you act in false ego, Krishna is cautioning that you will be lost. So he is advising us always to act in Krishna consciousness. What is that? To follow the instructions of Krishna in our life. 159. Yad ahankaram ashritya nayotsya iti manyase mityesha vyavasayaste prakristvam niyokshati. If you don't act on my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. Again, that same message is coming. If you don't accept Krishna's direction, you will be falsely directed by Maya, external energy. One is Krishna, the person, other is Krishna's external energy. So as a spirit soul, if I connect with Krishna as his eternal servant, I will be correctly directed. If I don't connect in that mood with Krishna, if I attach to my body more, then false ego will take over, Maya Devi will take over, and I will be falsely directed. I will act in the interest of my body. I will act in the interest of my body. Then what will happen? I will become entangled in the complexities of material energy. Right? That is where you can remember Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ said, I don't want to die on the cross, but if that is your will, my Father, I will surrender to your will. So he doesn't want to go on the cross because the body will pain, but he rises above the bodily platform. He goes to the spirit level and then he connects with his Father. He says, my Father, if you want me to be crucified, then let it be done. It will pain for me, but it is temporary. I am not looking for prayers, my Father. I am looking for Shreyas. And that is the very question Arjuna asked at the beginning of the battle. Karpanya dosho apahata svabhava prichami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha yas shreyasyam nishchitam bruhi tanme sishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. At the very commencement of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna tells us how to approach the spiritual master. How to approach? Arjuna is confessing, Karpanya dosha. I am a fool. I am a miser. I have forgotten whatever I have learnt in my Gurukul. I have become body-centric person. I have become a selfish person. But I am surrendering to you as a disciple. You guide me. And how you should guide? Shreyas. Yes, Shreyasyam. Which is in my eternal interest. You guide me like that. Not prayers. I don't want temporary, short-term happiness. I know it's not good for me, but I depend on you. You give me that guidance. Nishchitam bruhi, you tell me. You know what is in my best interest. You tell me that. So then you are correctly directed by the Lord. But if you are so much attached to your body, you are so much attached to your bodily possessions, bodily relationships, then you will become falsely directed. Because you will fall away from Krishna. Krishna's instruction is painful. I don't want. I want temporary happiness. Long term, when it comes, I will see. Now I want to be happy. If you do that, you will be falsely directed. And Krishna is adding further, by your nature, you are a Kshatriya. Kshatriya's nature is to fight. Now you have got a dharmic war. This war, if you don't fight, then you will still engage in a war. And that may not be dharmic. You will engage in a war out of selfish interest. Then you will get karma. Just like Duryodhana, he is also fighting, but he is not becoming free from karma. He is adding karma to himself. He is becoming bound by karma more and more. But Arjuna is becoming liberated. Why? The answer is here. Arjuna is acting according to Krishna's direction. But Duryodhana is falsely directed by his ego. So he's warning Arjun, if you refuse to fight now, you will still fight because your nature is controlling you. So this is a warning for us also. We are all controlled by our natures. How to become free from our nature? By accepting the direction of Krishna. Even though it may not be very sweet now. We already read, no? Sattva, starting is bitter, but the end result is sweet. So we should accept Krishna's instruction. Even if it is bitter now, the end result will be sweet. So that way we have to practice. And 60, last shloka for today. Swabhavajena kaunteya nibaddhasvena karmana kartum nechasi yanmohat karishyasi avasopitat. Again, avasopi, beyond your control. Under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction. But if you don't do, you will be compelled by your own nature. Your own nature will force you to do the work which is suitable to your nature. What is that suitable to your nature? You are a Kshatriya, you will want to fight. Kshatriya has a fighting temperament. So it will force you and you will still act. O son of Kunti. So Krishna is warning, you better act on my instruction, whether it is pleasant or unpleasant to you now. Otherwise, your own nature, you are a Kshatriya, you are in the mode of passion. So the mode of passion in which you are situated, it will create such a situation for you that you will still act. So Krishna is, Prabhupada is adding here, anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of Supreme Lord becomes glorious. So Arjuna would be still fighting, but that will not be glorious. But if he is voluntarily accepting the instruction of Krishna and fighting, then he becomes glorious. You see the difference? Arjuna fighting by his own choice will not be very glorious. But Arjuna voluntarily accepting Krishna's directions and fighting, that will make him glorious. So it is not fighting that is glorious. It is not that our duty which is glorious. But when you are doing the duty by the direction of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna, for pleasing the senses of Krishna, if you operate in that mood, that is when you get perfection and you become glorious. And what Krishna wants for his devotees? Always Krishna wants glory for his devotees. Just we will talk about this small story very briefly about how Arjuna killed Jayadratha. Jayadratha was, even though so many Maharathis joined together to kill Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna, the one fellow who stabbed him on the back and finally killed him was Jayadratha. And Arjuna took a vow that tomorrow, before the end of war, so war ends at sunset in those days. War will not continue beyond sunset. Before sunset, I will kill him. So Arjuna took a vow like that. And Krishna simply smiled, all right. And next day, with full cooperation, everybody said, Arjuna, you go after Jayadratha. We will take care of the rest of the battle. Don't worry about it. Duryodhana had kept Jayadratha hidden so that he won't come directly in the view of Arjuna. He thought, this is my chance. If today I will save Jayadratha till sunset, then Arjuna will die. Because Arjuna took a vow, if I don't kill him, I will commit suicide, self-immolation. So everybody was protecting, and Bhishma, Drona, they were all fighting severely, challenging Arjuna, come fight with me. Like that they were challenging so that Jayadratha will be protected. So the day was progressing slowly, evening was coming, and Arjuna was nowhere near Jayadratha. And at one point of time, the sun set, and everybody on the Duryodhana side was jubilant. They were saying, now Arjuna will commit suicide and the war is already won. Because Arjuna is the biggest obstacle. Arjuna lost means war is won. And then the whole Duryodhana's army parted. They were protecting Jayadratha all along. Now Jayadratha came forward to dance in front of Arjuna, to rub salt into his wound. See, you could not kill me. Because he knows after sunset he won't kill. Nobody will violate the dharma of battle. So he came forward and Krishna said, now shoot him. Arjuna was hesitating. How can I do that? I cannot shoot. Now the war is over. Krishna says, you better shoot now. And he kills Jayadratha. Everybody is shouting, no, this is not fair, it should not be done. Then suddenly sunlight comes in. Suddenly sun becomes visible because Krishna had hidden the sun with his chakra. And suddenly it had become dark. and Krishna removed the chakra, and then it was still, sun was slowly going down on the western horizon, and Arjuna had killed Jayadratha. Not only he had killed, Krishna directed him, Arey, if you kill Jayadratha and his head falls on the floor, then you will die. Because his father has taken such a boon that anyone who makes his son's head fall on the ground, his head will be shattered. So Krishna said, you cut his head and carry it in such a way that it will fall on his father's lap. His father is doing Sandhya Vandanam on the bank of the river. You should put it on his lap. So accordingly, Arjuna did. And his father, when he saw suddenly one head landing on his lap, he pushed it out. And the head rolled on the ground and his father died. So you have complete protection of Krishna if you work only for Krishna's pleasure. You are not interested to enjoy the results of your actions. You are only interested in the pleasure of Krishna. In that way, you become successful in all your actions. So with that, we come to the end of today's session. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Let us chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Pancha Kalpascha Kripa.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
I have just one thing to know.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of this Hare Mahamantra?
Thank you for asking. Yeah. So you see, the same 3 names are repeated again and again and again. Hare, Krishna and Rama. But in different combinations. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So many acharyas have given so many explanations about the Mahamantra. And some of them go very, very much into the prema, the mood of prema with Krishna. I know it's about Radha Krishna pastimes. The Mahamantra represents the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. The word Rama, that is also the name of Krishna only. He said it represents Radha Raman. So the whole Mahamantra is Radharani and Krishna. It's glorification of Radharani and Krishna. And there is a inbuilt prayer. The inbuilt prayer is, O Krishna, the reservoir of pleasure, a reservoir of attraction. O Rama, the reservoir of pleasure. And Hare, the internal energy, Radharani, please engage me in your service. So the prayer is, please engage me in your service. If they have to engage you in your service, they are always beyond the material world. They are in the spiritual world, Goloka. So in order to enter into their service, you will also enter into spiritual world in a spiritual body. Right now we are having a material body. This material body is not very suitable, to serve Krishna. The real service to Krishna is possible when you have your spiritual body and you are there in the spiritual world along with Radha and Krishna. So this Mahamantra is actually a prayer to engage you in the devotional service of the Lord. So that way, so many esoteric meanings are there in this. But when we chant the Mahamantra, number one, we should listen to the mantra in our ears. That is our responsibility. Chant clearly and listen in your ears. At the same time, have this mood of prayer. What is the mood of prayer? O Krishna and Radharani, please engage me in your service. Please engage me in your service. I am your eternal servant. I want to be engaged in your service. So that is the meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In due course, you will get more and more deeper understandings of this Mahamantra. This arrangement of Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, all these things, they have deeper meanings. By and by, we will come to know more and more of these things. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I got one doubt, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Whether in the Maha Mantra, the Rama, the word Rama,
yes,
whether it refers to Balarama or the Rama of Ayodhya.
The Rama refers to Krishna.
Okay, that's right.
It is not Parasurama, it is not Balarama, it is not Ramachandra.
Acha.
It is
Thank
Krishna.
you.
It is
Only
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah, Krishna only.
Thank you.
The Rama and Krishna refer to Krishna. And Hare represents the internal energy, Srimati Radharani.
Acha. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
But you don't have to enter into debate with people. If they say Rama is Ramachandra only, all right. After all, it is his own incarnation, all right. So we don't have to have strong disputes with people. But as a devotee who is keen on getting Krishna Prema, we should understand that the word Rama is an adjective that means he is the giver of pleasure, unlimited pleasure to his surrendered devotees. That is the meaning of Rama.
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Please, can you explain this Brahman, Bhagavan, Paramatma?
Yeah, I'll give you a simple explanation. You look at the sun. So the sun is shining in the sky. At the same time, the sunlight is also coming into your house. That is, the rays of the sun is entering into your house. The sun planet is not coming into your house, but the sunlight is coming into your house. But the sunlight and sun planet are not different. It's the same. When the sun is setting, the light will go back to the sun. When sun rises, the light will come out and spread throughout the world. So the sunlight and sun planet are not different, but still they are different. Because the sun planet is not coming into your house, only the sunlight is coming into your house. Similarly, when you, in the bright daylight, if you go out and try to see the sun, you cannot see the sun. You can see only the rays of the sun, the effulgence of the sun. You cannot see the planet. The effulgence will blind your eyes and you cannot see. So that way, the Brahman and Paramatma are like sun's rays and the sun globe. So, and within the sun, there is the Surya Narayana Swami, the deity, the presiding deity of the sun globe. That's called Narayan. He is the Lord inside the sun planet. That also you cannot see. So, to see each of these things, you need qualification. To get Brahman realization, a jnani who is practicing brahmacharya and strictly following Sankhya Yoga with a touch of bhakti, he will know Brahman. He will go beyond material understanding, he will go to Brahman. And what is Brahman? In Brahman, you don't see any variety at all. Brahman is like, if you go to a movie hall, you are watching a movie, after the movie is over, you see a blank screen. So Brahman is like that. When the movie runs, you see so many interesting things. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you are afraid. All these things happen. But when the movie is over, there is no emotion, there is only a white screen. Brahman is like that. The entire material world is a play on Brahman. The play is happening there, but Brahman is unchanged. Whatever movie runs, if there is a flood scene on the screen will not become wet. Or if a fire is seen on the screen will not get burnt. Nothing happens. It remains the same. So Brahman is that undifferentiated, nirguna, nirakar background of the entire material creation. And that is actually Krishna. Brahmanohi pratishtaham. Krishna says, I am that Brahman. I am that Brahman. He is not saying that Brahman has taken my form. He is saying, no, I am that Brahman, which is the foundation for all material creation. But beyond Brahman, you have Paramatma, who is the localized presence of the Supreme Lord in the heart of every living entity. His localized presence, he is the witness, he is the Sakshi Bhuta. He is there in the heart of every living entity. So that is the Paramatman. So you can say he is like the sun globe. Brahman is like the sunlight. And Bhagavan is the Narayan, who is inside the globe. He is the Supreme Lord. He can be seen only by the devotees. Others cannot see him. Similarly, Bhagavan realization is reserved only for devotees. For others, the effulgence will cover their vision. And they will think there is nothing beyond this effulgence. They will say, my goal is to merge in this effulgence. But we know there is no merging. The soul is eternal. It will remain individual forever. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam meme janadipaha. Krishna is telling Arjuna right in the beginning of second chapter. He is telling Arjun, you, me, and all these kings assembled here, we have been always there. We will exist in future also as individuals. So there is no question of merging. So people who have some understanding of Brahman, but who don't know Bhagavan, their understanding is incomplete. It is incomplete. So is it okay, Mataji?
I want to, when you find the time, you just, in the other classes, you explain, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
I want information, I feel like that.
Sorry, Mataji, what is the doubt you have?
I don't know why I am doubting about this Brahman. I'm not, my mind is not accepting for this much.
Okay.
Speed. I want more like.
Okay. So Bhagavatam says the absolute truth is seen in three ways. You know, those who have seen the absolute truth, they call it by three names. Three names: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. They are three names for the same thing. They are all represent the absolute truth. Is it okay, Mataji? Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, they are names for the same entity. Three names for the same entity. But those who know only Brahman, their understanding is incomplete. Those who know Paramatma, they have a superior understanding. And those who know Bhagavan, they automatically know Brahman and Paramatma also. So Bhagavan is the highest understanding where you experience the highest bliss. In Brahman realization, what we call Brahmananda, it's a very inferior kind of happiness. It is simply the absence of material suffering. That's all. So the soul, because the soul is constantly hankering for the highest happiness, the soul will be in complete, perfect equilibrium only when it connects with Bhagavan in a relationship of love, prema. So having prema to Krishna and serving him in that mood, that becomes the perfection for the soul. After all, why we are studying spirituality? The first thing is that we know we are a soul, we are not the body. Then we have to start working on the soul. We are no longer interested in the body. This body will fall one day. I am not interested anymore in bodily pleasures. I want the highest happiness for my soul. Then you go into the scriptures, then you go to the Acharya, then you go to the Parampara, you take guidance, then you learn Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And the Vaishnava Acharyas will connect you to Bhagavan. If you go to someone who is not a Vaishnava Acharya, who is practicing jnana or Ashtanga Yoga, they will connect you to something less. Even though they are all the absolute truth, they are beyond material consciousness. So I don't know. You feel that Bhagavan is not a complete understanding. Is that what you have in mind, Mataji?
No, Prabhuji, that I understood, that Bhagavan and Paramatma. And
Yes.
the Brahman stage, these are the stages of reaching the goal, or what?
They are all three are the same.
Okay.
Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, they are all the same.
They are all the same.
They are all the same.
Prabhuji, may I ask something?
Yeah.
Brahman is the effulgence that comes from the sunlight, the light.
Yes.
Can be compared to the light of the sun.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. There is a
I
light.
understood, Prabhuji.
Yeah, this is the example that Prabhupada gives. Again and again, Prabhupada gives this example. Sunlight, sun globe, and the Lord of the sun, Narayan. So
The name of the sun.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji, I understood perfectly.
Arranged.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Chayadevi Mataji, what you should do, you should read Ishopanishad. If you read Ishopanishad, you will get a much better understanding. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. The kind of purports that Prabhupada has given, very detailed purports. There are only 11 shlokas. You can read Prabhupada's small book. That will give you a tremendous understanding of all these three distinctions. And if you read Bhagavatam, of course, you will get excellent understanding of what is the difference between these three. In Bhagavatam, right in the beginning, you get this shloka. Vadanti tat tatvavidas tatvam tadjnanam adbhayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyate. So those who know the absolute truth call the same absolute truth by three different names, Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So it's the same absolute truth. So actually, you should not have any confusion. The same absolute truth. But different people are approaching the absolute truth in different ways. Jnani is approaching as Brahman, Yogi is approaching as Paramatma, devotee is approaching as Bhagavan. The same absolute truth.
Okay, Prabhu.
He is giving the highest revelation to the devotee. Highest revelation. That's all. Hare
So
Krishna.
yogis and devotees. Okay. Now I could.
Devotees are the highest. Krishna says, Bhakta is the greatest yogi. Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo madha. Krishna says, out of all the yogis, devotee is the highest yogi. So he says, Tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Krishna is recommending Arjun to become a bhakti yogi. So that way everything is connected one to one, they are all beautifully connected. So if you learn under proper guidance, then all the confusion will go away. But of course, you have to chant. You have to chant. Chanting only gives you realization. Otherwise, one doubt will be replaced by another doubt. This will go on and on and on. But if you are simultaneously chanting, that is devotional service, then you will get better understandings by the mercy of the Lord and by the mercy of the Parampara. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।